Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, and they all offered me a signature shoe, obviously some faster than others. And, everybody knows Nike makes the best product. It just kind of takes a little bit longer. And so I grew up wanting to be a Nike athlete.
The WNBA was not doing well in 2022. So this might not have been a bad decision. This might have been a decision that they felt like they needed to make in order to continue the league.
Many did not anticipate this. Caitlin Clark was more than simply a talented basketball player. She developed into something greater. She turned into a moment. Her name is now widely known outside of basketball circles. Even those who don't watch the WNBA are aware of her. Her cards are being discussed by those who don't collect cards. Her shoes are being demanded by those who have never been interested in sneakers.
Hoping to get your hands on the Caitlin Clark version of Nike's Kobe Bryant sneaker, you're out of luck. They are out of stock.
Her influence is no longer limited to the court. It manifests itself in the media, in marketplaces, and in the daily discourse surrounding the sport. Additionally, two fresh indicators are hinting at something more significant that you shouldn't miss this season for any reason. In today's video, we will examine actual facts, actual business decisions, and their implications for the future. Because stories tend to change when contract numbers and money start to line up, the $28 million gamble. Breaking down the contract. Click like now and share Clark Fever in the comments if you believe Caitlin Clark is transforming women's sports. A box score is not one of the most obvious indicators of Caitlin Clark's potential. Trading cards are the source of it.
$60 for this Caitlin Clark Chronicles card collection. It comes with a book in 8 packs, and there is a chance that you can get an exclusive autograph or a color blast. Let's see if we can get something good in here. This is an interesting product. I've never seen a book and cards together like this. It's kind of like an advent calendar. Let's start it out. Starting out with a state-of-the-art Indiana kind of card. These are going to be in our pro uniform for the most part, I believe. That's a shiny parallel. All the cards are also going to be Caitlin Clark. So, this is kind of similar to the product they did, I believe, last year, except it comes with a book. Ooh, we got a red cracked ice, not numbered, decent looking card. I like the shoe cards as well.
The number of sports cards submitted for grading each year is monitored by a professional sports authenticator, or PSA. Collectors send their cards for grading so they can be examined, sealed, and safeguarded. Because it is expensive and time-consuming, people only do this when a card is important.
You can see the main differences from last year's product is the price is a bit more and you get the book. So if you want like the coffee table book, there you go. That's the selling point for this, in my opinion, and a chance to get an auto or a color blast or numbered cards. You can get numbered cards in here. There's a red parallel Caitlin Clark right there, another shoe card and another shoe card. Not sure if that's a subset or an insert, but I do like it. And we've got a shiny Caitlin Clark parallel right there. It's looking like the parallels are 1 per pack. Here's another one right here, a shiny kind of hollow prism card, just a hollow silver. Now we got a shiny state-of-the-art and another state-of-the-art.
More cards were assessed for Caitlin Clark in 2025 than for any other current basketball player worldwide. LeBron James is one of them. Stephen Curry is one of them. Clark concluded with more than 136,000 cards graded, which sets her apart from everyone else. There is more to this than just quantity. Additionally, she has 3 of the highest graded cards in all sports, not just women's basketball. This implies that she is being treated by collectors in the same manner as the planet's largest stars.
WNBA was not doing well in 2022. So this might not have been a bad decision. This might have been a decision that they felt like they needed to make in order to continue the league. In order for the league not to fold, in order for, like they said here, to supercharge the business growth, to include better marketing and more innovation. And I've actually spoken to people who are much deeper in the WNBA circle than I am. And a lot of people, they say that Kathy has done a lot of things that have actually saved the WNBA in ways. And so I know that obviously we look back and we're like, well, crap, this 16% equity stake that she sold of the league is kind of screwing the women now when you talk about.
The value comes next. She sold one of her first cards for roughly $660,000. Shoes and jerseys are selling out due to merchandise madness. Legends are typically the only ones with that kind of money. The point is that this is not typical for women's basketball. It demonstrates a change in the perception of the sport among collectors and enthusiasts. The greater concern arises if collectors already exhibit this degree of belief. When the corporate community fully supports her, what will happen?
Hoping to get your hands on the Caitlin Clark version of Nike's Kobe Bryant sneaker, you're out of luck. They are out of stock. The WNBA star teamed up with Nike for a player edition of the Kobe 5 Pro Tro, decked out in Indiana Fever colors. You see them on your screen. They dropped at 10 a.m. Monday, and they sold out before 11 a.m. In fact, in just minutes. The $190 kicks are already showing up on the secondary market at close to double the retail.
When Caitlin Clark was formally designated as a Nike Signature Athlete in August 2025, Nike made its intentions evident. You shouldn't play around with that title. It was accompanied by her own logo, which was created with her individuality in mind. Two interlocking C letters that are clear, uncomplicated, and readily identifiable. In sports, logos are important. They're the means by which a player transcends their moniker. They become symbols. Nike implies that an athlete is more than just a performer when they give them a logo. They stand for guidance. They stand for the brand's vision for the future.
Back to Nike though, I gotta ask some questions because I'm such a huge sneaker fan. You said that you're wearing the new kicks coming up this season.
Yeah.
I honestly, for everyone that doesn't know like the process that goes into like making the sneakers, like how long in advance has it been, or like when does it all start? Do they come to you with a shoe, a bunch of shoes? Do you kind of get to tweak them here and there? How is that process?
Yeah, I think it's honestly been like probably one of the coolest things I've got to do since honestly the process started at the end of my senior year when I was at Iowa, because I was deciding what shoe company I was going to go with. And I talked to Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, and they all offered me a signature shoe, obviously some faster than others. And, you know, everybody knows Nike makes the best product. It just kind of takes a little bit longer. And so I grew up wanting to be a Nike athlete. Every kid does.
Additionally, Nike revealed that Caitlin Clark's signature shoe and clothing collection will debut in 2026. Such dedication is uncommon. Many athletes do not receive Nike signature shoes. Women are even less likely to get them. Only if the company thinks you can change culture and sell at scale will you receive that degree of support. Early indications of demand were already apparent. Kobe models in fever colors were among the player-only Nike sneakers that sold out almost instantly for Caitlin Clark. These weren't yet her official signature shoes. Even though they were previews, many hurried to purchase them.
Jordan, like that's the premier brand, and everybody knows that.
The custom Kobe's, yeah.
Oh yeah, the custom Kobe's are fine. I sent like Harry and some of your friends some. They're like, how do we get the? I was like, I got you. But no, I mean, it's probably been like a year and a half now of like figuring out what exactly I want. And I think probably the most challenging part of it is like you want it to be unique, but at the same time, like I have to be comfortable wearing it. So I think you kind of take what you know you're comfortable in. Like obviously I play in a lot of Kobe's, but at the same time, I don't want it to be a Kobe. I want it to be something very unique to me and a little bit different. And I think for myself, like, you know, I kind of think about like what's kind of been important to me when I think about like shoes or sneakers.
This demonstrates that companies are funding women's sports for reasons other than appearances. They are making significant investments. They are constructing long-term strategies around market-carrying stars. The focal point of that transformation is now Caitlin Clark.
Talk about a revenue split and where that money's going, but at the same time, if she wouldn't have done that, would the WNBA even be in this position that it is now? Would they have had to cut back on teams? Would they have had to sell teams in order to keep the league afloat? Like, we just don't know. Hindsight is 2020, but I kind of feel bad now because I came down hard on Kathy on multiple occasions, and I do think that there are some things that she could have done better. But after seeing all of this and being able to look back and reflect, like maybe it wasn't all bad. Like maybe it was things that you had to do for necessity for this league at that time. And that's why I talked about like the NBA's split as well.
A signature sneaker, however, is just one step. The financial sector is where the next indications originate. And don't hesitate to subscribe if you want to see where this goes. Business executives' actions frequently convey more than just loud advertisements. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, first publicly purchased a sizable quantity of Nike stock almost doubling his own investment. This is not typical. Risky or ostentatious ventures are not Tim Cook's specialty. People notice when he makes extra financial commitments. Elliott Hill, the CEO of Nike, also purchased Nike stock at about the same time. Belief is demonstrated when the business owner invests their own funds. It conveys to the market that the leadership is optimistic about the future. However, how precisely does this relate to Caitlin Clark?
Like just the chaseability of them, and like you want a certain sneaker or like you want a certain colorway. So I think that's like going to be probably the most fun part. Like, okay, great. Like you have like the mold of the shoe and like what it is and the technology that's in it. But more so, I think I'm more excited about like making the certain colorways or collabing with certain brands or whatever it is. I know I definitely got a Chiefs colorway on the way, or PE or something. Maybe we can get Andy Reid to like coach them at some point or something.
Are you kidding me? You
or we
already
can turn
know
them into
Coach
a cleat, or we get something like that.
Oh,
but
listen, you're speaking to me now. I'm game. It's so cool because a lot of like you're doing exactly what like I've always dreamed.
You see, businesses wager on the future rather than the past. These expenditures were made while Nike was reviving its momentum and largely relying on athletes who appeal to younger audiences. Conclusion: will she be the brand's future? Audiences. And the focal point of that approach is Caitlin Clark. Nike stock had experienced a period of weakness and uncertain confidence. However, perception was stabilized by these insider actions. When influential people use actual money to demonstrate trust, markets react. This implies that Clark's cultural appeal, her impending signature line, and her expanding influence are viewed as actual catalysts for future expansion. Additionally, when money begins to move in this manner, it usually indicates that something more significant is about to happen. As of right now, Caitlin Clark's influence extends beyond basketball. She has transcended into a greater realm. The way some athletes behave when they integrate into society. To sense her presence, you don't need to watch every game. Conversations, advertisements, and consumer purchasing decisions all exhibit it.
Honestly, Nike asked me like kind of what I want to do with some of the Kobe's that I wear throughout the season, and my dog is really important to me. It's my childhood dog that I grew up with. So the shoe was basically all golden, and then obviously the tongue of the shoe was pink for a golden retriever or any dog really. But and then on the sock liner of my shoe was a picture of my dog. A lot of my teammates thought it was like some random graphic I found on the internet, but it was actually my dog.
Her impact persisted even during periods in 2025 when she was unable to play due to injuries. Trading cards continued to be sold. Nike continued to construct around her. The focus of the media remained fixed. When an athlete is off the court, they typically vanish. The opposite was true with Clark. Her absence nearly gave the impression that she was more present. There were times when her pull was evident, and presence at a preseason exhibition attracted a lot of attention. Tickets quickly vanished. National television intervened. The game didn't feel like a warm-up. It had the feel of an occasion. People watched because Caitlin Clark was on the floor, not because the standings were important.
NBA has been supporting the WNBA. The WNBA has kind of needed the NBA, and I think that that's an okay thing. Like, we should be able to say this aloud, because if now they don't need the NBA, or in the next 5 years they won't need the NBA, then you have this runway to try to like get it back to where the WNBA is owning 100% of their league, but they're not there yet. They're still not there yet. They still had a lot of losses last year because they have the charter flights, they have all these different things. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I might have been wrong on some of my takes a few months ago about Kathy Engelbert. This capital raise might have been exactly what the W needed at the time. So in March 2022, the Liberty was fined for illicit chartering.
The mainstream media has closely watched. Coaches discuss her influence. Analysts disagree on her impact. Audiences around the world are familiar with her name. This attention cycle is lengthy. It has persisted throughout college, the workforce, and now business and culture. The league itself is changing as a result of her influence. Her attention is helping other players. Sales of merchandise change. Schedules for broadcasts change. More shelf space is provided by retailers. When one player attracts this level of attention, women's basketball is packaged and marketed differently. This is the appearance of true market power. It goes beyond simply scoring points. It is simultaneously shifting behavior, money, and attention. Put explosion in the comments if you believe that 2026 will be Clark's greatest year to date.
That plays a sport or definitely is a hooper, like dreams of having a signature shoe. Like it is the coolest shit ever. But I remember LeBron came out with his first signature shoe, and it was like he had this Hummer in high school, the notorious Hummer, and he kind of like shaped or like made the shoes kind of resemble a Hummer's like look and model and everything like that. Like when it comes down to like it being true to you, I can't wait to see exactly what this thing looks like. And you already know I'll be the first one in line to get them.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be cool. And it's crazy because LeBron's on shoe 23 now, which is like crazy to think about how long his signature line has lasted.
When everything is put together, it begins to make sense. This isn't a coincidence. One story is told with trading cards. Nike's dedication conveys another. A third is added by stock market confidence. It's all connected by cultural attention. A turning moment is indicated by all of these indicators. 2026 is more than just another season. This is the point at which the Caitlin Clark effect transitions from remarkable to enduring. This is the point at which a passing interest becomes a habit. Markets, fans, and brands are lined up at the same time that individuals stop checking in out of curiosity and start showing up out of expectancy for the first time. Viewers want to see it. Companies wish to make investments. The goal of the media is to magnify. Such alignment is uncommon. And when it does occur, a sport is typically altered. Her return to full health, together with new Nike releases and more commercial support, is predicted to propel viewership and revenue to previously unheard-of levels in the league. However, none of this is assured. It is dependent upon how it is carried out. It is contingent upon her health. It depends on the fans' continued concern. The narrative is currently being written. Her career and the significance of this moment for the sport as a whole will be defined by what transpires next.
It's crazy, and I've gotten all 23 of them.
You don't see like a lot of signature cleats in football, do you really? Like it's not really the same. Like Trav, you wear like your own PEs, like Jordan PEs, right? Don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shout out to Jordan. I think those fit my game the best just because I grew up in that like Jordan era of like I kind of like that mid to high top like boot kind of feel, save the ankles, protect the ankles.
Yeah, seriously.
Caitlin Clark is more than simply an excellent basketball player. That aspect has already been resolved. We are currently witnessing something more expansive. Even collectors who have never seen the WNBA are impacted by her influence. Investors searching for the next cultural revolution are reached by it. It attracts followers who stick around as well as brands looking for relevance. This moment is distinguished by two indicators: her total control over the trading card industry and the serious assurance that Nike and influential corporate executives have in her future. They are not viewpoints. They are signals that can be measured. All of this points to 2026 as a potentially historic year for Caitlin Clark as well as for the marketing, consumption, and value of women's sports. The Caitlin Clark impact might be more than just a popularity tale in 2026. It might be the point at which women's basketball becomes inevitable. In order to participate in the discussion, if you are currently watching Reshape Sports, please share this video and leave a comment for Clark 2026.